Okay. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, this was your lesson 5 problem set. I'm actually on the back of the second page in that packet. So we're going to be looking at using our vertical number lines. I'm also going to get out my sleeve to help. So if you guys want to find your sleeve and your expo as we're going through.
What problems here are we?
So we're going to look at this one. We're going to do number 1A together. And I'm rounding this to the nearest thousands place.
What?
So I want to go ahead.
I'm looking at you. Can you do that?
Thank you, Rowan. Yep, go ahead. You can highlight. So I want to know first what digit or number is in my thousands place. So I'm going to write this on my place value chart. So I start writing it backwards and putting it in. Okay. What?
Are we supposed to write that on our sleeve?
Yep, go ahead, write it on your sleeve. What digit is in my thousands place? Oh, and Mrs. Miller's going to want your cameras on unless you're Broderick or Rowan. Because I need to make sure you guys are with me. Thank you.
My camera. We weren't able to get the new Chromebook today.
Okay, that's fine, Emery. Or sorry, Indy. Okay, so Amy and Pedro, Jesus S, and Lily, cameras on.
Can I grab something real quick?
Yep. Lily and Jesus, cameras on. Thank you, Pedro.
I can't find my expo. Not here.
Okay, if you don't have your expo, you can always, have a piece of paper above it. Thank you, Lily. Jesus S, are you there? Jesus S. And Mrs. Wright, maybe you can try to get Jesus to turn his camera on for me. If not, we'll have to put him out in the waiting room. Okay. Emery, what about you? Are you there? Emery?
What's up?
Okay, you got to have your camera on. Thank you, bud. Okay, which digit or number is in the thousands place? Calvary, which number?
6.
The 6. Perfect. The 6 is in the thousands place. So let's go right here. I want to keep my lower endpoint. It's going to be the 6, and I'm going to put it followed by zeros. My upper endpoint is going to be 1,000 more. So what is 1,000 more than 6,000? Let's see. Rowan, I need to have you mute.
Yeah, but Ms. Miller, what am I supposed to do? I'm still confused about that.
Okay, go look at Seesaw. You got to look for the directions for your assignment in Seesaw. Okay, what is 1,000 more than 6,000? Ethan?
Say that again, I can't hear you.
What is 1,000 more?
7,000.
Perfect. So we're going to put our 7,000 at the top. What is halfway in between 6,000 and 7,000? Ismail, what's halfway in between?
What? What's in between 6,000 and 7,000?
Yep.
6,030.
I want exactly halfway.
6,000 and...
I'll give you a little.
Mrs. Miller?
6,500 would be halfway. Yes, Ben.
I can't find that packet anywhere.
Okay, then you can just do it on a piece of notebook paper, right? Okay, and make sure then, did you look for, this is on the very first page. Okay.
Yeah, I looked through everything and I didn't have a packet or anything like it.
Okay, then you can just do it on notebook paper, bud. We're just doing the practice part. So now I want to take my 6,700 and plot that. Is that going to be above my midpoint or below my midpoint? What do we think? Above or below? Addison.
Above?
Above, yep. So it's going to be hanging out right there, 6,700. If it is above the midpoint, I'm rounding it to my upper number. So it's rounded to 1,000. Or sorry, 7,000. Okay. Let's try another one. Let's go to C right here. Okay, so let's take our boards because we're still rounding it to the nearest 1,000. And let's write this number because I need to know what place value is in the thousands. So I'm going to clear my sleeve and I'm going to write it backwards. So the 1, the 0, the 4, the 6, and the 1.
Mrs. Miller.
Uh-huh.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I just have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. What digit is in the thousands place, Kaya? Kaya, what digit is in the thousands place?
The 6.
The 6. Perfect. So all the numbers over here are going to become zeros. And this is going to be 16,000 for my lower endpoint. Okay. So I'm going to put my 16,000 right there. I want to go 1,000 more for my upper endpoint. Let's see. 1,000 more would be what, Kimberly? So what's 1,000 more?
What?
What is 1,000 more than 16,000? So we're at 16,000. If I add one more, what number do I get, Kimberly? Do you need some help?
17.
17,000. Perfect. 17,000. Now I need to figure out what's my number halfway in between. What number is it going to be between 16 and 17,000 if I split it right in half? What do you think, Peter? What's our number halfway in between?
16,500.
Awesome. Okay, so 16,401. Is this above or below my midpoint? Above or below, Miles?
Below.
Below. Awesome. It's going to be hanging out right here. So if it is below my midpoint, I'm rounding it to the bottom number. So 16,401. When I round that to the nearest 1,000, rounds to 16,000. Okay, my question, this vertical number line for rounding, did you guys see that in 3rd grade or is that something new for 4th grade?
For me, it was from 3rd grade.
From 3rd grade?
From 3rd grade. Oh, and Miss Miller?
Uh-huh.
So, Amory said that can I have a snack?
Yep, feel free. Okay, if you feel like you understand this, I'm going to have you guys finish E, B, D, and F. If you want to stick with Mrs. Miller, we're going to be going over all of these together, okay? So if you feel like you're understanding it and want to work ahead, and then you could just double check your answers as we go, okay? So if you're feeling like I'm understanding it, feel free to work ahead. But if you want to stay with Mrs. Miller, you are more than welcome to do that, okay? Okay, how about...
Hands off if we're working by ourselves?
Yes, if you're working by yourself, feel free to turn off your camera. Okay, I'm going to skip around a little bit. And if you're working with me, we're going to do letter F. So same thing. I want to write it on my place value chart. And when I write it on my place value chart, remember I'm starting in the ones going over. Okay. What digit is in the thousands place? Because that's what I'm rounding to. What digit is in the thousands place? Ashlyn?
100,000.
Just in the thousands place. What number?
0.
0. Yep. So if I round to find my lower endpoint, I want to keep the 8 and the 4 the same. The 0 stays the same. Everything to the right of this becomes zeros. So my lower endpoint is 840,000. What is 1,000 more? 1,000 more.
Mrs. Miller,
Uh-huh.
I have a question.
Yes.
What happens if we finish this page?
If you finish this page, would you go back and start working on the very first page? Okay, Ismail, I think I saw your hand up. What is 1,000 more than this number?
1,000 more is 9,040.
Oh, 8,000, right?
9,000.
Oh, but we just want 1,000 more.
Oh, 8,000. Then 8,000.
So the 8 and the 4 would stay the same.
8,000 and...
What number would be in my thousands place if I have 1,000 more?
1,000. 1.
1? Yep. So I say this number, 841,000. So that's going to be my upper endpoint.
841.
Okay, halfway in between 40,000 and 41,000 would be what? Halfway in between. What do you think, Zoe? What's halfway in between?
Are you ready to sit back? 100, 800, 40.
So if I put my place value chart up, I'm really between here and here, between 0 and 1,000. What's half of 1,000? If I take 1,000 and I split it in half, I see some
500.
500. Yep, 500 is halfway in between. So I have 840,500 is my midpoint. Now I need to plot my number, 840,007. So if I just look at the 7, is it below or above my 500?
Above.
Above. What, above? I have 500
Below.
and I have 7 here.
Below.
Below. It's going to be hanging out way down here. So my rule on the vertical number line, if it's below my midpoint, it rounds to my lower endpoint.
Boys and girls, please remember the chat is not for making little smiley faces or talking to your neighbor.
Oh, yes.
For questions.
Because if not, Mrs. Miller's turning the chat off like we did on Thursday. And then some of you guys found it hard to communicate with Mrs. Miller, right? So if we can't follow our rules, it will go away. Okay, I'm going to go up to problem number D. So we have the number 39,545. So I'm going to write that on my place value chart. And I always go from smaller to bigger. And remember, the directions say rounded to the nearest thousand. What place or digit is in the thousands place? Laura, what digit is in the thousands place?
9.
Yep. So I'm going to keep the 9. All the other digits smaller than the thousands become a 0. And that is my lower endpoint. So I'm going to fill that in right here. Ooh, this one's tricky. What is 1,000 more? If I put 1,000 more, what number do I get? What do you think, Ethan?
40,000.
Yep, 40,000, because did I have to bundle right here? And it had to move over. So my upper endpoint is 40,000. What's halfway between 39,000 and 40,000? Halfway in between, if I split it in half, what do we think? Halfway in between. Ismail, what do you think, Ismail?
I think 39,500.
Perfect. Yep. Good job. Okay, now we need to plot this. 39,545. So is the 545 below or above?
Above.
Above? Here's 500. Would it go above? Do you guys agree with Ismail?
Below.
Or below?
Below.
Below?
Up. Above.
Is that, it's above, right? Just slightly above. So if it is above, we're going to round to our upper endpoint of 40,000. Great job on that one. Okay, should we tackle the easier one before we do the hard one? And again, if you're working by yourself, you can double check your answers with mine, and you can go work on the first page, okay? So let's go up and do B up here. We have 9,340. So let's write that on our number line. Or our place value chart, sorry. What digit is in the thousands place? Ashlyn, what digit is in the thousands place?
9.
Yep. So this, my lower endpoint is going to be 9,000 because everything to the right of my circled number becomes zeros. What is 1,000 more? If I add 1,000 more, what is my new number, Kevin?
9,000.
It's 9,000 now. And if I put 1,000 more, what do I get?
10,000.
10,000. Awesome. I have to bundle these and they go over. So then I get 10,000. That's my upper endpoint. Okay, what's halfway between 9,000 and 10,000, Samantha? So what's halfway between 9,000 and 10,000?
9,500.
Awesome job there, Samantha. Okay, now I need to plot this 9,340. Would that be below or above my midpoint, Brian? So above or below? So if I have 500 right here, let's look at our 340. Is it above or below, Brian?
Above.
So is 340 greater than 500 or smaller?
Oh, wait, smaller.
Smaller. Yep, it's going to be hanging out down here. So if it's below my midpoint, I round to my bottom.
There's a mirror.
Uh-huh.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yep. Okay, we're going to try the last one. Okay, this one's a little bit bigger. So let's write it on our place value chart. Figure out what digit is in the thousands place. 9, 9, 4, 9, 9, 3. What digit is in the thousands place? Lily, what digit is in the thousands place or number?
What did you say? You're kind of quiet.
What digit is in the thousands place or number?
Three.
That's in the 100,000 spot. Just in the thousands. So thousands is right here. What digit?
9.
9. So I'm going to keep all the numbers to the left of it the same. All the numbers after my circle become zeros for my lower endpoint. So we have 399,000. Woo, this one's tricky. If I add 1,000 more, what number do I get?
What do we do? Because I think I was like doing PE.
Gabe, you're going to have to follow along, but I let you back in because I thought maybe you had internet trouble, okay? You'll just need to follow along. And this is recorded. Ethan, what number do I get if we're 1,000 more?
You would get 400,000.
Yeah, 400,000. Because notice what happens. I got to take these and bundle over. Oh, then I got to take these and bundle over. So that's where I get my 400,000. Great job there, Ethan. Okay, what's halfway between 399,000 and 400? Ben Basil, what's halfway in between?
$399,500.
Awesome. All right, now we got a plot. So if I look at my 500 here, we have 499. Is it going to be above or below? What do we think? Above or below? Ismail, what do you think?
Below.
Below. Yep, just a little below. So that means we're going to round this to 399,000. Okay. If you were doing it by yourself really fast, if you wouldn't mind turning your cameras on, and I want you to check the answers that I have highlighted here in purple before Mrs. Miller turns the page.
Pink, you mean?
Pink, yep, sorry. If you were doing it on your own, will you check to see how you were doing with your answers before Mrs. Miller turns the page? Okay. Then, question.
On F, it must have been rounding up because 7 rounds up.
Oh, but remember, we're rounding it to the nearest 1,000. So this one, it's below our midpoint, so we want to round it. It would be rounded down to 840,000. Yep.
Mrs. Miller, what if we don't have the next page?
That's okay. Just stay with me. Okay, I'm actually going to go back now and work on comparing some numbers. Mrs. Miller stuck with the rounding because rounding is probably more difficult. So we're going to use now our last 10 minutes or so, but we're going to work on comparing numbers. So if you have the packet and you would like to work ahead, feel free of doing that. If you don't have the packet, you could probably just watch, and you can use your place value charts too. Okay, to make this easier, filling in our place value charts, I'm just going to do the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. Notice I have a line right here because I'm separating, and so I'm going to need my commas. So the directions say draw the place value disk, but I'm not going to draw the dots. I'm just going to write the numbers. Is that okay? Because I think that will be quicker. So I want to plug these numbers in. So just like what I was doing, I'm going to start in the smaller place values and fill in our top number. And then I'm going to put this guy right here. Okay. So this was my number, my letter A and my letter B. When I use my place value chart, I'm going to compare my numbers, and I'm going to compare starting from left to right. So let's take a look. What do we notice happening in our 100,000 spot? What happens in my 100,000 spot? What do you think, Laura? What's happening in my 100,000 spot?
You take it away.
Well, what number do I have here?
6.
6. What number is here if it's blank? I gave you a little hint.
0.
0. So which is bigger, 6 or 0?
6.
Yeah, 6 is bigger. So remember, we want the opening to go to the bigger number, right? Because the teeth are on the outside, is how Mrs. Miller explains it. So the 6 is bigger than the 0. So I want the opening to go here. The way I would say this is 600,015 is greater than 60,015. All right, let's try the next one. I'm going to quickly label my place value chart. I'm going to write my numbers on the chart. So here's letter A, number A. Putting my digits in. Here is number B. Okay. Need my commas when I go from my ones period to my thousands period. Calvary, what do you notice about my 100,000 spot?
They're both 4s.
Yeah, they're both the same. So now I need to look at my 10,000 spot. Amy, what do you notice about my 10,000 spot? What do you notice, Amy? What number do I have here, Amy?
0.
What number do I have here?
4.
Which one's bigger, 0 or 4?
4.
Perfect. So I want the opening to go towards this number, B, right? Because it's bigger, Amy said. So the way I would say this in words, 409,044 is less than 440,002. Okay, so there we modeled our place value chart. Now what I'm going to do is compare them, but stacking them on top of each other. It's very similar to the place value chart, except for I don't need to draw the lines.
Mrs. Miller.
Uh-huh.
What do I do now? I finished the packet.
The whole packet, even the story problems?
Yep.
Okay. Emery, if you want to go ahead and work on multiplication.com on some of the division games for about another 5 minutes, you can, okay? Okay, when I line these up, Mrs. Miller calls this the pencil test. I want to make sure my place values line up. Oh, what do you guys notice happen here? Are they lined up?
Mrs. Miller, I have to leave to go to Brody's house.
Okay. Are my numbers lined up? They weren't. So Mrs. Miller can't compare because she didn't write it correctly. I need to write it so my numbers are lined up correctly. Now my thousands places together. Okay. What do you notice in my 100,000 spot? I have a 3 and I have a 0. Ben Brendan, which one is bigger? 3 or 0? Ben, are you there? Okay, Zoe, which one's bigger? I don't think Ben can hear us.
3.
3 is bigger. So the opening is going to go towards the 3. 342,001 is greater than 94,981. Ooh, this one, we need to get them to the same form. Couple of ways. This one's expanded form, this one's in written form. Let's take both of these and put them in standard form, okay? So I have 5, 8, 9, and 100. 500, 8,901. Now I can compare them. And I'm going to use our method of stacking our numbers on top of each other. Okay, what do we notice in the 100,000s? What's going on right here? Ashlyn, what do you notice?
They're both 5.
Yep, so that doesn't help me if they're both the same number. I got to go over here to the 10,000s. Peter, what do you notice about the 10,000s?
The top one has an 8 and the bottom one has a 0.
Perfect. So the 8 is bigger. So I want the opening to go towards that 8. 589,100 is greater than 508,901. Great job, guys. Okay, we are going to come back to our packet tomorrow.